Greetings and welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad you're here. If you're here at this channel, you are most likely into jazz records. Perhaps you're into audio. Perhaps you're into New York City. It's going into the evening here on Wednesday night. The weather has become wonderfully cool. So I'll probably, after I've done work today reviewing a turntable, I'm going to take a walk with my cigar and annoy the neighbors. But I've had a couple things flow into my timeline, into my YouTube weather vein of consciousness, and I want to talk a little bit about truth in audio reviews, truth and honesty among audio reviewers. As some of you know, I write for Stereophile magazine. I've done that for 5 years. It's a very tough gig. I've written about music for 30 years, but my reviewers at Stereophile, my editors, the best editors I've ever had, as far as making me be very precise with every word. I have to back up everything I say. It has to be based on real world listening, on my experience with hi-fi over many years. It's a tough gig. I mean, I've written for, in the past, I wrote for Positive Feedback, SixMoons.com, Soundstage when I first got started. Soundstage actually paid something. Six Moons paid nothing. Positive Feedback paid a little bit. I enjoyed working with Dave Clark. He's a top flight guy over there. But I was watching a channel, Audio Excellence, which I believe is also a distributor or a store. The goal of it was to say that some audio reviewers are not honest. It's almost like payola going on. And I do know there are websites that they pay to play. It's called advertorial. If you write a review, you share in the profits of the advertising that the manufacturer places either before or after, I would assume during your review process. To me, that's totally unethical and wrong. And in the YouTube world, it's risen to a whole new level. Over the weekend, I heard the new Cyrus CD player, and I was speaking to the publicist for the company, and she was saying, oh, below, like Steve Gutenberg, the audiophiliac, and John Darko at Darko Audio, or Sean at Zero Fidelity, there are a whole legion of audio reviewers. You know, all they make is, unboxing videos, or they don't really have any knowledge. And you can tell by watching some of these channels. I haven't watched a lot of them, I've watched a few. And she said they just want free gear. Or some places will, she said, or someone else told me, they will do a review of a piece so they get to keep the piece afterward. At Stereophile, some pieces we keep, some pieces we're not allowed to keep. Such as I reviewed a pair of ProAct speakers that I loved last year. I wanted to keep those as part of my reference rig. Manufacturer wouldn't let me keep them. I own all of my reference rig. I own my Kuzma turntable, my Thorns turntable, my Shindo amplifiers, my DeVore Fidelity speakers, my Spender speakers. I own all these things. I do have loaner gear. I have a Parasound amp, a shit amp, some MyTech amps, a couple other things, but it's kind of funny. Oh, you get this gear for free and you get to play with it. There's no playing involved here, folks. This is I don't want to curse, but this is hard work. I live in a little apartment. You know how hard it is to drag 80-pound amplifiers around an apartment? I have an LKV Veros Class D amp, a wonderful amplifier, $10,000 amplifier. I never want to move it. It weighs a million frickin' pounds. I live in a 6th floor walk-up. You think I want to get gear for free just to play with it? And that's true for most people who are serious about this. All of these things that we keep are they're tools. I have a loft back there full of boxes. My couch is covered in boxes. There's a rack behind that with a Border Patrol DAC that's on loan, an old cassette deck. I forget what else is back there, but yeah, I have things on loan, but they don't own me. Trust me, folks. This is, like right now I'm reviewing this turntable. I've played it with three different amplifiers and 3 different pairs of speakers. I'm going to play it with a different cartridge. Then I'm going to take the cartridge off that turntable and put on my Thorns and see what that cartridge sounds like on my Thorns. It's hard work if you want to do a good job of this. It's really hard, but I'm rambling. But to me, if you go to any audio channel, you should want to hear a review by someone who has knowledge, who has experience, who's listened to this thing, as much as he can, and has something cogent and coherent and knowledgeable to say about the way it sounds. At the end of the day, with any review in Stereophile that you read, and Herb Reichert has pointed this out to me a lot, you want to tell that person what the piece of gear actually sounds like, and you want to get it right. And that's the hardest part, is to get it right. But I have nothing to do with the manufacturer. I looked through the current issue, and there are, I'd say, about 3 or 4 manufacturers' advertisements, manufacturers who, to my knowledge, have never received a review in stereophile. There are probably more advertisements of products by manufacturers who have received reviews. But hey, Kef, Golden Ear, AVM, which is a big German company, CH Precision, which I believe is also a German company. These are big companies, and they want their products to be seen in stereophile. So yeah, they take out advertisements, and their gear does get reviewed. As an audio manufacturer, you're not going to review a new speaker by Wilson, which I don't really like those speakers, or Magico, or Kef, or an NAD amplifier. But it's not pay to play. You know, there's a strict line between advertising and editorial, and I've seen it in action among the people who work for this magazine. I've seen it. I've seen that wall drop down. They don't cross. But for audio, for YouTube, it's an entirely new terrain. It's like the Wild West. A friend of mine told me about a YouTube audio reviewing channel. A major manufacturer approached him and said, "You don't have to review my piece, just mention it. And let's put a link in the text box of your current video, and all you have to say is, hey, there's a new product by XYZ. Check out the link below for the product to XYZ." And the manufacturer paid that person money for each click that led to their website. So that's pay to play as far as I'm concerned. You're selling part of yourself to a manufacturer. I mean, that's a whole nother realm I haven't even heard of. YouTube is like the Wild West. It's tough. You know, I want to present entertaining videos, informative videos. I've written about jazz for many years. I can't really talk about hi-fi. I mean, I literally can't talk about hi-fi. That's a real art form that I can do it a little bit, but I don't really have it. The gift of that gab, like Steve Gutenberg or John Darko or Sean from Zero Fidelity, or any number of, pretty good websites, YouTube channels. Because I'm a writer, I've written about music for a long time, that's what I know how to do. But anyway, just saying, be careful who you watch. Be careful what they're saying. To me, content is what matters, not looks. Does a YouTube channel give you great content? Can you trust that individual? Can you ask him questions and will he respond? I mean, granted, some of these channels are really big, they can't respond to every question. But Steve Gutenberg tonight is celebrating 200,000 subscribers on his channel, which is really great. Steve's the one who helped me get into stereophile along with our Dudley. Steve urged me to do this channel, and he's having a live stream event in 10 minutes. And Steve will answer questions right there. There are a lot of fly-by-night people who just want to get gear and hang on to it, and some companies will do that. A lot of companies trying to get a foothold. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. I try to give honest, truthful commentary. I know I'm kind of a grouch and a curmudgeon sometimes. It's tough. It's a tough world, But thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.